Okay. Good evening, students. Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
How many are there from the previous class? Shall we wait or shall I start?
Shall we wait, sir?
Okay. How many are there, ma, for the previous class?
Previous, maybe 10 members.
Okay. I think they will join. They are taking break or what?
Maybe uh, we will wait 5 minutes, sir,
Okay.
if they will join.
Yeah, that is what I'm just looking. If the number comes 10, we will start then. Hmm.
Okay, okay.
I think I don't think the number will increase. We'll start the class. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think now we are going to start the class. Can someone remind me what we have discussed in the last class? Where we left? What is the last point or last topic? Yeah, can sir, please tell me just for encouragement. I can say that, but tell me. It will be encouragement to me that you are listening nicely and this, so that I can. Last topic in our quantitative techniques for business. What is the last topic that we have discussed? No one is there for the last class who are now present. Sharda or Shravan. I think you are there now. I used your example last time.
It's about survey we are talking about.
Yes, Shravan, can you speak a little louder?
We are talking about survey, what kind of
Surveys, right?
research analysis, I think.
Wonderful. Right. Thank you.
Not getting correct.
No problem. No problem. But something you are able to recollect. Thank you. Now, let's go to the another topic now. I mean, the same continuation. Let me share my uh, screen. Right. I think you are able to see my screen, right? Okay. Let me take you to that. See, we are now here where in the first unit, we'll try to complete the remaining units. And today and tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we have, I think, 4 more classes we have. I'll just go little fast today. The reason is that there are a few things that we need to complete. Uh, we have like um, how many classes left for us? I think few more classes are left for us, and in there are 15, and 3 more classes are there. Then I will just go little fast, ma'am. Um, once we are done with it, I will go little fast because 6, 7, 8 are very important things. But please try to understand as I'm going, even though I'm going fast, I will try to make sure that the concept is so clear to you. Okay. And fifth and sixth are kind of, if you study properly the notes which is given by Ambedkar University, that's more than enough actually. You will understand the concepts clearly, and you can able to, get the concepts. It is very easy.
Uh,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
remember last class we had discussed about business research and data collection.
Correct, correct, correct. Thank you, Sean. Right, let me go to that quickly without wasting the time. Um, right, we are into this unit now. Okay. uh, Business research and data collection. I just shared about the meaning of this, nature and importance and uses of this, and even limitation. This is also done, I think so. Essentials of the good research, need for that, meaning of it, objectives, nature. The next important thing is that steps. This process, I have taken, more time on this because this is very, very important topic in the fifth unit, because all the rest of your units are depend on this. I mean, depend on this means in the sense like next unit is about the sampling and next unit is about analysis part. We are going to that. Okay. Again, I don't want to repeat. Just quickly, just let me revise. First one is that the business process research. Business research starts by identifying the problem, and after that, doing the review of the literature. Second point, and the third point is about the formulation of the hypothesis. It is the statement. It is relating to the research problem that you will make, and in that there will be two types of hypothesis. One is the null hypothesis. Second one is the alternative hypothesis, and research proposal, that what we are going to do, we will keep it in that proper format. And the research design, how we are going to perform, what are the stages in that, everything that you will, how many, from how many people you are going to collect the data, and how you are going to, what is your sample design, and what kind of instruments that you are using, even to do that sampling, and identify the sources of the data and collection of data. Okay, after you selecting the data, and how we are going to collect the data, right, and how to analyze the data. That part only we have a lot of things to learn in analyzing the data. Once we get the data, how to analyze the data is the question. Next, interpreting the results and drawing conclusion. After you getting analyzing the data, you need to draw some, the results. I mean, you need to tell the meaning of that particular analysis, that is called interpretation, and you need to come to a conclusion, because it will again connect to the hypothesis what you have framed. You are going to answer to that particular hypothesis, and of course you need to communicate the results to the outside world, or from where you are doing your research. Okay, if it is a company, if you are doing on a company, you can communicate to them. If it is related to the government, you can communicate to them. Like that, you can do anything, right? These are the things that we learned. And the next one is data collection. Yeah, in the data collection, we learned about these five concepts. Again, I don't want to review also now. Please go to that thing. Now let us directly, I'm going to the 7.7. I told about editing of the data, what is coding, classifying, and tabulation and seriation. Okay, and after that, coding, classification, and that objectives we have seen, the basis of classifications we have seen, based on the different categories: geographic, chronological, qualitative, and quantitative classification we will do. And after that, we will keep all the things in a tabular form, that is called the tabulation. In the classification and the tabulation, there is a difference is there. Whatever the classified things are there, we'll put in a proper format in the table form, that is called the tabulation. And when we are constructing a table, what are the principles that we need to follow? And these are the types of tables that we have. If you just see that examples, you will understand what kind of tables we are talking about here. Next one is the seriation, how to give the serials or the numbers for the things, because that is very, very important. In order to analyze this, see why we are talking about, sir, why this tabulation. This means in the next step, analyzing the data, if these things are not proper, you will be more confused in doing the thing, right? And next, frequency distribution in the seriation process, and how to set the class. You can't take the individual count, right? In the like that, you can make a classifications on that. And the basic concepts like the variables, what is the individual series data, discrete variable. This is important. What is a variable? As I told you, that the variable, the measurement quality which varies from one individual to the another individual. If I take the weights, right, of the individuals, it will vary, right? Age, definitely it will vary. Marks, it will vary. Variation will be there. That is the one word we'll use called variation. And series or the raw data, right? The marks obtained by 5 students, like this you will give that, right? It is an individual series or the raw data. What is discrete variable? Now, the variable assumes only integral variable at fixed intervals. It is called a discrete variable. For example, number of runs scored by a cricketer. Okay. Next one, page number of a book. If a variable is integral variable, fixed intervals will be there. Page number of a book will 1, 2, 3, 4. Fixed interval will be there. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. It will go like that, right? And it is also called the discrete variable. Simple is that variable assumes only integral values at a fixed intervals. Discrete series will be there. Like this one, if the series dealing with the discrete variable in the series, like whatever the sets that we are taking. Now, continuous variable, right? It's a variable between two specified limits. It is called a continuous variable. Height of a student, right? Salary of a person are the good example. Continuous series. Dealing with the continuous variable, which will continuous. Frequency table, we know that, right? Class intervals. How many in a class 0 to 10 marks, 11 to 20 marks, 21 to that, like frequencies that we will take, or how many times it is repeated. Class intervals. Frequency distribution, right? How in the group of a class, how the number of observed values fall into the each class is recorded, right? In the Croxton and Covert frequency distribution in the statistical table, which shows a set of all distinct variables arranged in an order of the magnitude. Next one, a class. A class is, it is a frequency distribution between two values, 0 to 10, right? 10 to 20. Like that, we can take it. Class limits also will be there. Boundary limits. Like in a class 0 to 10. 0 is the 0 and 10 are the class limits, right? 10 to 20 are the class limits. Whether it is class interval will be there. What is the interval? The difference between the lower limit and the higher limit is the class interval. Mid value or the midpoint. The average or the of the lower and the upper limit is the midpoint or the center point. Now, open-ended classes will be there. Okay, like for example, less than 5,000. Number of employees is 6. Now, there is a problem. Right? Whether it is 4,999, 4,990. It's difficult to tell. Right? There are some problems that you can go. The concept of a midpoint. Now, see why we will take the midpoint, mid value is that it is like it becomes impracticable to use such data for further mathematical calculations, because hence it is becomes necessary to use one figure instead of the class limits. Now, average is also an example for this. Upper limit, lower limit. If you take the midpoint, then from the midpoint, we can just try to understand who is above midpoint or after midpoint and like that, right? And actual lower limit and the limit each for each class on an assumption that they're spread evenly in the class interval. Now, cumulative frequency distribution. This is also another kind of a distribution, cumulative distribution. 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 cumulate, right? Less than frequency table. Less than 40, less than 50, more than 30, more than 40. Next one, a relative frequency is also there. If you take this 30 to 40 number of students, 5 frequency, cumulative frequency 5, and 5 plus 8, 30, like that we will take. The percentage also we will calculate, 10% at this. Now, planning the statistical inquiry. Now, how to plan a statistical inquiry? When you are surveying, some quality results will require. It depends on the preparations made before the survey is conducted. What are the steps? These are also very important. Why we are doing that survey, or in other words, why we are the statement of the problem, the purpose, right? It should be clearly stated in the beginning. If you won't take, and if then whatever the survey you're doing, you are not able to explain, and if you don't know, we are starting with a problem only. Research is starting is the statement of the problem, right? Then it will also help you to understand the purpose of why you are collecting the data. Now, scope of the survey will depend on the type of information required, the subject matter, and the geographical area. Right? It is all depend on the three factors, namely the object of inquiry, availability of time and availability of resources, within a reasonable period of time. See, you can't keep on doing the survey for longer period, years together. You should tell that. Unit of data collection. Before organizing the task of collecting data, the statistical unit or units must be clearly defined for the purpose of investigation. Right? It should be a purpose of the inquiry. It should be simple to understand. It should be specific and stable in character. It should be uniform throughout the study. Unit of the data collection, how we are collecting the data. You need to mention the units, right? the counts or the measurements of the variable attributes selected for the derivative. Now, types of statistical unit, units of collection, units of analysis, and the interpretation. The physical terms which are collected or involved in counting the quantitative attributes or quantitative variables. When we are collecting the data, it will deal with the discrete entities or events related to them, as it in the case of persons, houses, livestock. Now, analysis and interpretation. This is like which facilitate comparisons, which will help you to come. Once you get the data, you can do the comparison between one point to the another point. So if you take the units of examples are like such units are a student, leader, house, a child, or a rupee. A compound unit is a simple unit with some qualifications such as skilled worker, part-time employee, right? Like this, these examples we can take. Now, this is about the types of statistical units. Units of analysis, units of collection, units of the analysis and the interpretation. For example, here, if you take this, rates are used in those cases where comparisons are made between quantities of different kinds, such as birth rates and the death rates. See that? Ratios and percentages are used where quantities are to be compared with some kind of such as ratios. And see, we cannot use all the things for everyday thing, right? Like for example, rates, right? Birth rate, death rate, ratios. If you take, right, when we are taking a ratio, it will help you to understand the ratio of the population. The rate per unit is called as a coefficient. Right? Here we can understand. Now, another important thing is that sources of data. And here, I think with the next unit, we have the detailed explanation about it. I will take that time there. Let's see. Method of data collection, how we are going to collect the data. That also we have in the next unit. We have the clear explanation. Choice of a frame, right? It refers to the listing of all units in the population. How we are framing the data, like sampling frame. Identification of the unit in the population under studies the difficult task. If there is a duplication, defects, right, incompleteness or inadequacy, if any things are there, I mean, all the things will be covered in this frame. Degree of accuracy desired. See, is that do you require the accurate? I mean, understanding of the thing may or may not be right. Absolute accuracy is not possible, and especially in the statistical work. How satisfied you are about the online classes? I'm taking the same example, 1 to 5. If you're extremely happy, you will give 5, not a problem. If you're extremely disappointed or you're extremely no, I want to put 0. If 1 is there, when you're keeping 1 also in your heart, it is says that 0. I'm just giving example, right? Are you understanding? Accuracy, even though they are giving, if you give 3, what does it mean? Of course, I have some definition of it, right? In the scale what I'm giving, um, completely not liking or important or not important, I will give that. I will define 1 to 5 what are the things, but in that 1 to 5 also, that accuracy I cannot expect it. Miscellaneous consideration, official survey, confidential survey. See, there are a lot of things are there, like you need to go to the banks and seek for the permission and then to do that. Confidential surveys are there where it should not be revealed to the public, right? For example, some private things are there between the families, right? You want to know how peaceful are the families in Hyderabad. Let us say my family is there, you came and asked. Will I give the information to you? Hello? Are you all there? Are you all listening or sleeping?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yeah.
are here only.
You are there only, right? Okay. Whenever I say hi or sing, please say something. Okay. Thank you. Right. Confidential survey, right? Let us say you want to know the, yeah. Thank you, Shravan. You want to know whether all the families are happy in Hyderabad or not. Their relationship or in terms of whatever they call. You came for that. Before I give the information to you, Shravan is doing this survey on that. He came. Will I give directly to him? No. Why should I tell about whether we are happy or not? I think, sir, I want to know that. Then he should give a consent or think that, sir, I will maintain the confidentiality. This is for the purpose of the society. Just want to know that. That's it. This is purpose for my research. I won't reveal your name or this, but I will count as a family. But I won't. It's a confidential service. No, there are. There are some. If you go to the finance related things, many things they won't reveal. Companies won't reveal. And even employees relationships, employees they do. Now regular surveys in interval thing every month, every year they will take initial survey just to know the right starting and the ending. Direct survey, directly quantitative measure the height, weight, and income. There is no any point of confidentiality. Executing the survey, how to execute the survey, setting up an administrative organization, right? It will inquire depend on the nature and the scope of the inquiry, design of the forms, how we are going to set the form, selection, training, and supervision of the field investigators, control over the quality of the field work and the field edit, follow up on the non-responsive people are not responding to that. Now processing of the data, how you will process the data, and then finally you will prepare a report. Now we are understanding about the data and the information. The statistical investigation deals with the interrelated facts in the form of numerical figures. Now, datum is a fact. The plural of datum is data. Right? Datum, what is observed, happened, manifested, or a fact. The plural of these facts are called the data. See, someone defined it. Data are the relevant materials, past and present, serving as a basis for study and the analysis. Right? And unless you get the data, you can't come to any conclusion. You can't do anything with that. We require the data. Now, what is information when the data, for example, I said like 13, 14, 15 by looking at a crowd of people. What are this? What is 13? What is 14 and 15? Hello? Unless I add some value to that 13, 14 and 15, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years. I didn't tell that, but I said 13, 14 and 15. Unless I add that value years to that, it is not an information, right? That is called the data, right? These data are the isolated fact, raw material. Now, the possible setting of the collection of the data, informal and the formal, unstructured and the formal structure, that again we will see in that. Now, see, formal setting, participation, observation, systematic observation, experimental techniques, verbal responses, or whether it is oral or the written responses we can take. Now, see that as I told you, the sources of the data. Please, keep your open your ears widen just to this is very very important topic to understand. Here in research, when someone asks, the basic thing about the research is that of course you should have a problem and you need to study the review of the literature, and after that the next steps will be there. Now you will design a research design, and this now to carry on with your statistical investigation or the problem identification you require the data. Sir, from where I will get the data, right? I want to understand whether the students of Ambedkar University distance education students are happy or not, or in other words, yeah, that is it, the simple thing. Now, are you all here there? Are you all listening? Okay, I'm assuming that you're all listening. Please, yes, thank you. Thank you for the response. Now, there are two types of data. Now, whether happy or not, sir, are you taking the present batch or already you are taking the previous batch also? If you ask me, I want to take the last 3 years, including this batch, who are presently pursuing their online classes. Are you understanding? From where should I get the data? For this batch,
From
can
our end.
yes, ma?
From our end itself, we need to collect the data.
Yeah, for this year, I will collect from your end. What about the past 2 years?
You need to collect from the person who had created the group or the administrative blog. Based on the
Wonderful.
record, you can collect from there.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let us say Shravan only did for last 2 years data and submitted to the Ambedkar University. Now, if I am using the data which is already available or already done by someone, let us say Shravan did it for last 2 years and submitted to the Ambedkar University, it's there in the records of the university. If I am using that particular data, that is called the secondary data. In other words, which is already available data. I'm just making it very simple. I'm not reading it out. Already available data or the old data, past data, already did by something, that is called the secondary data. Okay. Now, what is primary data? Of course, data is not available. I need to understand whether the present batch, the Ambedkar University online, distance education students who are attending the online class are happy or not. How should I get it? I should talk to you, right? Again, I will tell that how to collect that. Whether talking or whether sending the questionnaire, that's we will talk later. If I'm taking directly from you, or a freshly if I am taking from you, that is called the primary data. Simple. A new data or the first time if I am collecting the data, that is called the primary data. If I am using the data or already which is available, is called the secondary data. I think it should be very clear to you again. Whenever I ask, every time, because these 2 points will continuously repeated throughout all the units. Of course, the analysis part we may not do that, but whatever. Whenever I ask, you should tell. So now read this. A data collected by the investigator for the respondent for the first time is called the primary data. Right? Now, the data census population. An example. I want to know whether your mental condition is stable or not as today, based on the elections or whatever the things happen. I should collect freshly from you, right? How you are collecting, we will see that in the next chapters, or maybe in this chapter only it will be there. But first time data, fresh data, direct data, maybe through the interviews I can collect, by sending the questionnaire I can select, by sending the schedules I can collect, by observation also I can collect live observation, whether they're crying or how their mood is, whatever. This is primary data. Secondary data means already. Now, where I will get the secondary data, that we will see that, but already collected data, which is already there, it may be in the journal. See, all your literature review is a primary data or the secondary data? Definitely secondary data, because literature review means already which is written about your topic, which is already available there in the, right? Are you understanding, ma? Is this clear? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not already published data. In other words, it is an already published data, already written data, maybe in the newspapers, previous newspaper if you are taking, it is already published, secondary data. Right? Today's newspaper, if you are taking, is already published, means it will consider as a secondary data. Freshly from a direct contact with the respondent, if you are taking, it should be a primary data. Once it is published, once it is into the public domain, and this it will comes as a secondary data. That is why people will ask about the, when they're investigating some murder happened, what is the primary investigation? That means why they use primary means live thing, what is happened there, what is the thing, background, and this, that's a different thing. Okay, now this is the thing, right, where we will collect from the websites, company website, the journals, in the magazines, newspapers, or like in the libraries, or submitted data or project reports which are submitted by all these things comes under the secondary data, that we will see that. Now see the data which is obtained for the first time is that already collected by someone is the secondary data. Sources like questionnaires, schedules, and interviews, I think we will discuss on this. Now, RBI reports, someone published, the statistical organization, which is public, kept by the RBI in their website, right? Or the companies kept their information in their website, all these things, right? Now, cost factor, definitely, the large amount of funds are required for the collection of the data, because you need to go there personally, or you need to talk to them, you need to invest time, a lot of this. Time and funds can be saved under this method. If you take the data which is already available, which is done by Shravan already for the last 2 years. You don't need to spend any time. Directly you can take. Of course, if it is a copyrighted thing, of course you need to spend money. That's a different thing, but easily we can get it. Execution is, of course, we require some assistance when we are talking with them, when we are taking. It is also required, but less required. Time factor, too much of time it is required because it is already collected data, less time it will require. Reliability and the sustainability, all the time more reliable and suitable data is the primary data. Again, secondary data also reliable from where you are taking is another important question. Organization, it requires elaborate organization. We no need of any organizational setup. Precautions, no extra precautions are required for this. Secondary data require the more care and the attention. I need to say both are required attention when we are taking the data and this, but here the thing is that because I am talking, let us say Shravan, I am talking directly from him and taking the information. uh, Not much precautions. But if I'm taken the data which is published by Shravan, whether it is true or not, genuine or not, a whole lot of things I need to do. That is why precautions are more required for that. Okay, choice between this primary data and the secondary data. I think you need to understand based on your topic. I think you need to submit a research proposal. I don't know whether this year or which semester. You need to ask your concerned faculty when you are need to submit all these factors and these points you need to like. Now my research students, next hour I'm having a meeting with my student who are doing the research in their medical fields. Okay, I'm going to explain to them, right? Most of the data, let us say medical reports, medical things, many of my students, medical students who are doing medicine there, I mean my students means in the sense like yeah, they're into the medical field. They need to submit a project report. Many of my students data is the primary data. Patient's care, patient safety, the discharge process, and all the things based on this the primary data. Then half of my students are taking the secondary data, which is already available, like the past data, which is available in the hospital. They are also doing on that. Someone is scribbling on my screen. I think I saw the name. Don't do that. Don't give your device to the kids. Right. Methods of collecting primary data. Yeah, very, very important. I will directly go into that. Uh, First thing is that direct personal interviews. I'm not going to explain. You go through the points, you will understand. Directly keeping the mic in your mouth and asking, or directly you're asking. Personal interviews, first thing. Second one, you need to buy hard this one. Indirect personal interviews, third party people. We don't even take, but from the third party people we will take. That is called the indirect. You go through the merits and demerits. Information through the correspondence, right? Like local agents, where local agents are the correspondents. These correspondents collect the information and pass it on to the investigator from time to uh, time, right? And when we are investigating, we keep there and we'll try to get the information and do that. Agents will work on behalf of you and they will tell the information, you will copy that. Next one is the questionnaire method. This is the most widely used methods and easiest method. Now, if I send the questionnaire, you know that what is questionnaire? Contains a set of questions, right? The set of questions. How are you feeling about the material that we are providing? First question. How are you feeling about the clarity of the technical part of BOA? I'm just taking the examples of whether student is happy with the online classes or not, right? Questionnaire method. And different questions I will ask. And I will send a Google form, right? I'll send a Google form. What is that? Monkey. Some monkey. There is some another app which you can do that. Or else survey monkey is there, and or different free apps also available, right? Through that apps also you can create a form and you can send. Or the best method and the cheapest method is the Google Forms. Freely you can just to create a questionnaire in the Google Forms, send the link to your friends, ask them to uh, fill it. Questionnaire method. Questionnaire sent through the enumerators. This is called the schedule method. Schedule is a list of questions for which answers are sought from the response but is filled by the investigator. This method is used to from the literates and also illiterates through the enumerators. This is used by the research institutes and the governments where the respondents are literates. This appointment of the enumerator required under this method. Enumerators record fill the answers to the questions in their own handwriting in the schedule. The essential difference between the questionnaire and the schedule is that the former is filled by the informers. Very simple. By the letter, the enumerators record. You will tell, I will write. Right? Mm, the enumerators. This is called the schedule. Please remember that. Questionnaire sent through the enumerators. Enumerators means who are recording the responses. We call them as schedules. Okay. See, it is a device to send basis prepared secure questions to a list of questions by using a form, obtaining answers through the enumerator. Administer, how you will administer? Literate population only. It is illiterate and illiterate. Let us say now people can't answer that. I will send a enumerator on behalf of the illiterate. He will fill it. He will send it at cost factor, and this you go through this. I don't understand. You can understand by looking at this. Drafting the questionnaire. How to draft a questionnaire? Because this is the widely used one. Essentials of the good questionnaires are this. You go through this, and pre testing of a questionnaire. How the data is coming, you need to send. I can show too many questionnaires, but we don't have time. See, this is the questionnaire nightly. What is your age between this? What is the gender, education qualification? Next, from which bank you are receiving the funds under CSR initiative, XY bank? Yes, tick, tick. How you are beneficial in the specified schemes of the bank? Ding, ding, ding. You heard of CSR through the channel, tick. How long you have received the benefit? These kind of answers, it will give a lot of time for you to, analyze the data. Protection of environment. These are all the things, right? You can see this. Editing primary data. This is also very important in the, you need to edit the data, that is scrutinize the same. The chief object of editing is to detect possible errors and irregularities. The data should be complete. Editor should see the questionnaire is complete in all the respects. It should be inconsistent and this. Now, sources of secondary data. See, primary data, what are the main things? Can someone tell? Important question. That is why I'm repeating. First one is personal interviews. Second one, indirect personal interviews. Third one is information through the correspondence. Third one is the questionnaire method. Fifth one is the schedule or the questionnaire through the enumerators. Okay, you learn. Now, secondary data, how you will collect the data. I am just reading the points and you understand. Published data, internal publication, office publication, committee reports also will be the newspapers, magazines, and this. Unpublished data, which are or published or taken by the person for the investigation. So, for example, let us just have an example we have taken. He taken the data and submitted to the universities, which is not published anywhere, right? Electronic sources, websites, internet. Also, we can get the data which is not published already in the journals or some good magazines and there. Okay, precautions. You read this, you will understand. Okay, these are very important. What is primary data? What is secondary data? Questionnaire, inventory. This unit is very important for the next further units as well. Now, let me go into the um, unit 7. It is about the measures of the central tendency. Emma, you need to understand the concept from here. For the next unit, unit is a basis. I will try to do my best to make you to understand this, and please focus here. Now, um, generally, what is measures of central tendency? Mean, median, mode, etc. There are a few things which are all used in the central tendency. Now, let me go into the concept directly. See, the most important purpose of the statistical analysis is to get one single value that describes the characteristics of the entire mass of data. How is the class? How is PGDM, quantitative analysis or business decisions class? I said, sir, 70% is good. I use the word 70%. It should that value 70 should represent the whole data. Whole data means all of you. If I'm telling 70 means it should tell the answer for all of you. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Hello? Yes, no, are you all there?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. See, that concept is very, very important to understand, right? Uh, mm, okay. Now, mm, one second. Okay, right? Now, see, the most important purpose of statistical analysis is to get one single value. It will tell that, one settle that. That is called the central value or an average, right? And someone is asking the strength of a class or whether it is good or not, sir, 70% are good. That Redmi Note 8 is an unknown person or known person who's scribbling on my screen. Redmi Note 8 Pro. Ma, can you rename? Who is this boy or girl? You're writing on my screen.
Yeah, it's by mistake, sir. I
Very
am Jagan Raju.
Jagan Raju. We thought someone from outside is disturbing our class.
No, no, no. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Absolutely sorry.
No problem. No problem. Okay, I cleared your, the mistake, whatever it should.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
let's go into that. Right now, this is the central tendency will help you to determine the central value of the data. See, an average value, someone like Croxton and Cowden, he defined this. An average value is a single value within the range where within the range of the data that is used to represent all of the values in the series. Hmm. And this is where within the range of the data, it is called the measure of central value. Okay. 10 people are there, 10 students. How many are there in our class now? Minus me and the technical person, we have 7 students are there in
Seven.
our class. Right. Okay. Please include me also. 8 students are there. Sir, what is the average age of all these 8 students? Let us say, example, I am 70 years old man. Shravan is like 16 years old boy. And now Redmi, he didn't change his name. Redmi,
Yeah, I'm 35.
you're 35. Let us say you're 35. And someone is like, I'm just taking example only. No need to reveal your ages here. I'm just example. Now, Nagarjuna.
It's not a big deal, sir.
Yeah. No, no. Oh, very good. Yeah, Nagarjuna is there. Nagarjuna is, let us say, very young boy, let us say 22. Umarani is there, 30 is there. Now, all these things, let us say, someone is 70, someone is 60, someone is 50, someone is 30, someone is 25, someone is 30. What is the average weight of all these people? If I say 35, the problem with the 35 is that, let us say, I have taken examples, I am 70. Is 35 is representing me?
No, it's representing all the people average number.
Average, but now I said like average age of all these people are 35, I said. I am very far away from that central value. Are you understanding? Even though it is an
No.
average value, my age is very far from that. Let us say now, now instead of ages, let us say the marks also. Okay, if you take the marks, let us say roll number 1 have 100 marks, roll number 2 have 90 marks, roll number 3 have 95 marks, roll number 4 have only 35 marks, roll number 6 has only 40 marks, roll number again 70 have 100 marks, and this, if you take the average, it will go like 70 or 80. But the person who
75.
is, yes, ma?
70 or 75 in between.
70,
Distinction
75 like
mark.
that average. But the 70 and 75, let us say I have only 35 marks in that. Sir, this class, the quality or the what we call, the study wise, how is this class, sir? The average percentage that they will get is, I will say, 75. But I'm not included. Of course, I'm included in that. But the 35 marks boy like me who got 35 is not exactly representing the average. But many of the times, if my value, see, you need to understand this. If these least value, let us say 35, highest value is 100. If that least value and the highest value is near to the average, then there is a more weightage for the central tendency or the central value. Are you understanding?
You are saying like we need to calculate whole group sum, not like an individual person.
Of course. See, now let us say I want to analyze the marks of 100 students in a class. Someone is asking, sir, how is this class? How much percentage they are getting? Average, I am telling 70. When I said 70, the boy who is having 35 marks is very far away from that. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
So
Some,
you are saying that we need to meet in the middle, so we can conclude both the person, the person who is not getting marks and also who is getting the highest score.
That also we need to consider whether we can consider this average or not. Correct. What you are telling is correct. But sometimes if the least mark and the highest mark is near, you will understand in the coming topics how much we need to consider that skewness, and this will be there where we will understand that. But now, for as of now, for this topic here, what we need to understand, the average is an attempt. See, this Clark has defined very nicely. It is an attempt to find one single figure to describe whole of the figures. This is the thing. Are you understanding? But many of the times it is not the case. That's what I'm trying to convey. But the measure of the central value, it will help you to tell about the whole values or the whole people. Okay. But these two cases are there. Some people will escape from this. If I take the average, the boy who is having 35 marks will be escape from that. Okay. Oh, this class is 75. Oh, very good. But I may not look at the boy who's having 35 there. But that's okay. Let's discuss later about these disadvantages. But that is it. Average will help you to tell or the describe about the whole of the figures. Okay. Here you need to understand that. Now, objectives, you read it, essentials of good average, we will see. Then now, if you go to these essentials, you will understand that. Now, if you take this data, 10, 20, 25, 40, the sum is 160 and the average is 26 point. Another example is this. The average is 145. Hence, can't be called a good average as with only one new item, it has increased from 26 to 145. See that. Now you read it, you will understand. I mean, the concept which I told you, you will understand. Now, different types of averages. In that, mathematical averages, positional averages. In the mathematical averages, arithmetic mean, GM, HM is there, mean, mode, variance are there. We'll discuss them. Okay, we will stop here. And from here, we'll go on. Anyway, just we had a little bit interaction here. Tomorrow, please join as soon as possible. We'll try to cover more of the things, and okay, we'll try to finish it. Maybe in the 7, 8, 9 like that. I will go, and I may have one or two more classes. We'll see later. Okay, shall I stop here?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
Welcome. Yeah. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.